The Ghanaian government has actually written a letter summoning our government. You heard me correct, summoning them.
I am ashamed of a South African president. Nelson Mandela is ashamed of you. He's actually rolling in his grave.
Dudula leader Jacinta have actually come out to announce that the Ghana president have summoned or written a letter to the South African president concerning the video of, South African confronting a Ghanaian, in South Africa. According to her, that the Ghanaians are really, Ghana president is really doing too much, that the video was, misunderstood. And she actually showed an unpleasant, what would they call it, about the South African president even trying to honor the letter. So according to her, that the videos we were seeing circulating on social media was misrepresented. In fact, that South Africa is under attack by the whole world, you guys. So we're going to check in our videos and her statements and other people reacting concerning this. If you're just seeing me for the first time, I'm simply Lillian. Please do well by liking this video, subscribe and share. Thank you. Let's check out these videos together.
It's just one of those very sad days where you look at the state of the country and you just don't know who to turn to. South Africa is currently under attack from all parts of the world, if I can put it that way. People are taking videos, they're misinterpreting them, they're saying anything and everything. And I think the worst thing that has happened is that the Ghanaian government has actually written a letter summoning our government. You heard me correct, summoning them because of a video that was trending on social media, and they say that that video amounts to xenophobia. And I'm so disappointed in the South African government, but I don't even know why, because I know that's just how government is. We have like a very, very myopic government. So the government went and had a meeting, etc., and they did not clarify that South Africa has an immigration crisis right now. And to maintain the good relationship that we have with Ghana, they couldn't just say, we apologize if you feel that what is happening is wrong. However, our country has to enforce its laws, because we won't go to Ghana and tell the Ghanaian government what to do. Because in our country, what I saw in that video, nobody was being hit, nobody was being violent, etc., etc. That Ghanaian man was just told, politely so, please, you're not in the country with the correct documents, you're not supposed to be here, and you know this, and he knows it himself. But now why would our government choose to make that man a victim of something that didn't happen? The Minister of Police, an entire Minister of Police, just issued a statement lying, saying that there were attacks on Ghanaians. Where did the attacks happen? Because there's also another video that's happening where in Durban there was an incident of violence where the men who had been part of the march with Ungizwe were violent, which is incorrect, of course, but they were violent with a South African man who was stealing phones at the time when they were walking, stealing from them. That is a person from South Africa. It's not a foreigner. Now the whole world is claiming that man was a foreigner and was being hit for being foreign in South Africa. So guys, I just want to find out from you, like, do you ever think that we as a country will ever be able to enforce our laws correctly without interference from the rest of the world telling us that when we are enforcing our laws against their citizens who have broken our country's laws, we are the ones that are wrong? Our government has failed to protect us from criminals. Our government has failed to protect us from illegal miners, people doing drugs. They failed to protect us from people just mushrooming everywhere, opening shops. And if the citizens of the country are saying that they are tired, we also have rights as South Africans.
And Ghana's government has stepped up its effort to secure the safety of its citizens in South Africa, following renewed reports of xenophobic attacks targeting foreign nationals, including Ghanaians. On Thursday, the South African High Commissioner to Ghana was summoned after a video circulated online showing a Ghanaian man being harassed and intimidated in South Africa. Authorities in Accra say the incident has heightened fears among Ghanaians living there. Ghanaian officials are now calling for firm assurances from Pretoria to guarantee the safety of their nationals. DW's Eric Mawene-Beta reports from Accra.
Ghanaian officials say they have officially registered their protest with South African authorities over the incident. The summons of the South African envoy follows earlier discussions between Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa and his South African counterpart Ronald Lamola. After footage of the harassment went viral, officials say the Ghanaian man seen in the video is safe and in good condition. Foreign Minister Ablakwa warned that such acts threatens Africa's long-standing push for unity and solidarity.
It is really regrettable that at this time, when we've won such a huge victory at the United Nations, the Global South has come together, all Africans, people of African descent have come together, 123 countries sending a clear message against the transatlantic enslavement of our forebears, that in this modern era we will see such hatred, such xenophobia against each other, against Africans. It is totally unacceptable, it is condemnable, and we will do everything as a government to protect our nationals and to make sure that we demand from the South African government to protect our citizens and to keep them safe, because they owe them that duty of care.
South African authorities have assured Ghana that the situation is being monitored and that measures are in place to prevent further escalation. Some Ghanaians have also shared their reactions to the incident.
Africa, we've been preaching this unity and oneness for quite a long time, and if things of this nature happen to be happening among these two countries, it doesn't help.
You have to condemn it totally, because if you also want to attack their people over there, what will happen to Africa?
First of all, for some days now, I've been listening to some of the reasons why South Africans don't want Ghanaians and others in South Africa. And to be frank and fair with you, most of the reasons, they make sense. So I just watched one recently, and they asked the man, the South African man, that why did you want others to go, other nationals to go? And then he said that if the other nationals comes to South Africa, they are knocking the South African girls, which he does not like. As in say, the Ghanaian men, they are knocking the South African women, he did not like it, so they should go. We sense that in inside. The man is speaking as if the other nationals go, the South African girls will come and sleep and be like, Aibo, come, Jimmy, we'll go propose, give them. Somebody can propose, give them, they agree. You are angry that they are knocking them. 1, 2, he wake up dawn, he go take him phone, go the video the houses with the foreigners they sleep inside. Go the video they say they sleep peacefully. He's outside the code. Like most of the reasons don't they make sense. You understand? Look, bring tangible reasons why I want them to leave. And to be frank and fair, just as I said, right now, me, I'm a nationalist. I'm no longer a pan-Africanist. I want my nation to develop. I want my nations to do well, so that these embarrassment from South Africans that they be following people, embarrassing them, will stop. You understand? So right now, me, I've identified as a nationalist. Everything that will make Ghana go forward, that's what I'll do right now. Nothing concern borderless Africa or African unity again.
I am ashamed of a South African president. Nelson Mandela is ashamed of you. He's actually rolling in his grave. African unity is ashamed of you, because if one Africa is humiliated anywhere, all Africans should be offended everywhere. What are you doing? Are you aware that Africans are being haunted, beaten, humiliated in the streets of South Africa by the same people enjoying freedom that was paid for by continental sacrifice? You are always quiet. Silence means sponsorship. Where are the emergency reforms? Where are the protection for African migrants? Where are the arrests of xenophobic attackers? Where is your leadership? Why is the energy always strongest when the target is another African? Have you guys forgotten how the entire continent came together during the period of apartheid and supported you guys? I just saw a disturbing video of a Ghanaian being asked to go back to Ghana. Nigerian shops burnt down to ashes by South Africans. Those thugs, barbarians, where are you? What are you doing about this? Have you guys forgotten how Ghanaians supported you during the period of apartheid? First sub-Saharan African country to get independence, 1957. Kwame Nkrumah. He made liberation movement a mission. Openly supported anti-apartheid and colonial movement across the entire continent. Nigeria gained independence 1960, 1st of October. Nnamdi Azikiwe, he openly supported a liberation movement, gave political and financial support to South Africans. Nigerians gave money to South Africans in bundles. Nigerians gave bundles of money, bundles to South Africans, scholarship to those in exile, refuge. And today they are being killed, have been burnt, their businesses are being burnt down. 1960 to 1980, Julius Nyerere of Tanzania, he hosted South African fighters. Kenneth Kwandi of Zambia, he provided a refuge. Leopold Sedar Senghor of Senegal, he provided diplomatic support to South Africa. Algeria provided military training to South African fighters. Nigeria even had to nationalize the British petroleum assets, partly over apartheid-linked era interests. And today, South Africans, when South Africans get independent in 1994, the whole of Africa celebrated like it's our own child graduating. And today we are being kicked. You cannot be silent. Do something. Act. African Union, Organization of African Union, Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, 1963. Addis Ababa, Organization of African Union. It was because of you guys. Liberation of Africa, mainly the end of apartheid. The Soweto Convention, the Soweto Uprising, 1976. The whole of Africa marched, sang, cried for your separation. And today we are being treated poorly in your country. You have to do something, Mr. President. Do something. Do something. Act now. Else, we're going to know you're supporting this movement. And we are also going to come together and take measures against South Africans. South Africans have to pay for this.
I'm a South African currently in Ghana. And in light of recent xenophobic attacks that have yet again been reported in South Africa, I just wanted to share some thoughts. Now, firstly, of course, I can only speak on behalf of myself, but I do believe that there are many South Africans who share similar sentiments. Now, firstly, I am a very patriotic South African. I love my country. And I am also a pan-Africanist. I have a deep love for Africa. And I truly believe in our shared humanity. So the recent reports of xenophobia in South Africa again has left me deeply disturbed, as it always does. I think maybe where we can start off is by talking about what xenophobia is, right, and what it is not. What it is I guess they call it a fear or a hatred or distrust and discrimination against people from different countries, right? What it is not is an act of patriotism. It is not law enforcement, and it can never be in pursuit of justice because it is itself an injustice, right? Violence and brutality against our African brothers and sisters is something that I like to believe most South Africans do not support. Okay, but one of the greatest dangers, I suppose, that we face is that the loudest voices are often mistaken for the majority, right? So a small group is driven by frustration, they take to the streets, they act violently, then these actions are amplified and shared and repeated until they become or they begin to define an entire nation, right? But that's not the full picture. South Africa is home to over 60 million people, and most of whom do not engage in violence. They go about their daily lives, working, raising families, and coexisting peacefully with people from across the continent and from across the world. But the truth is that peaceful people are often silent, and silence is easily misinterpreted as agreement. So that's why I'm choosing not to be silent, because there is nothing in our Constitution that justifies violence. There's nothing in our Constitution that allows citizens to take the law into their own hands. There's nothing in our Constitution that justifies intimidation. Yes, the Freedom Charter does say that the people shall govern, but what does that mean? It means that we hold the state accountable, not that we replace it. It means participation, not vigilantism. And it means justice, not mob action. So, of course, frustrations exist, right? The current form of response that we're seeing to that, though, is not lawful and it's not justifiable, right? Now, if we allow incidents like these to define us, I think we create something that's even more dangerous than the violence itself, which is a distorted narrative, right? We then begin to believe that all foreigners are undocumented, that all people from certain nationalities are criminals, and that all South Africans are violent, yet none of this is true, right? But this is how narratives are formed. Small and loud groups shape perception, and perception shapes reality. And my reality and my perception has been shaped by my own lived experiences, of course. I had the privilege of studying under an African Union scholarship for my master's, and I did so alongside peers from all over Africa. And in that environment, I really came to understand the true meaning of Ubuntu, which is what we South Africans should be living by, right? I am because we are. I learned that beyond the borders, beyond the culture, beyond the languages, we're far more similar than we are different. You know, I've traveled to countries across Africa, like Nigeria, like Ghana, like Cameroon, Algeria, and I have experienced such warmth and such hospitality, such humanity, and I know of many other Africans who've experienced the same in South Africa, and that is the Africa that I know, and that is the Africa that I believe in, and that's the Africa that I love. You know, our continent's long been guided by ideas and ideals of pan-Africanism, right? Led by voices such as Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Nyerere, Nelson Mandela, and they all envisioned an Africa that is united, that is not divided, that's collaborative and not hostile, and that's rooted in dignity and mutual respect, right? And xenophobia just stands in direct opposition to this vision. But of course, we have to be balanced and we have to be honest. We know that South Africa, like many other countries, face real challenges, right? We have challenges of unemployment, we have challenges of inequality, we do have challenges of illegal immigration, and these are legitimate concerns, but I think misdirecting all our frustrations towards Africans does not solve our problem. It in fact deepens it. I think it's important to recognize that, you know, there are many foreign nationals who live in South Africa, live and work in South Africa legally, and many contribute very meaningfully to the economy and to the society, and many experience South Africa as welcoming and as full of opportunity, and the opposite is also true. There are many foreign nationals who are in South Africa illegally and who do not contribute to the economy or to the society, and in fact contribute to its destruction, right? Both realities can exist. But violence cannot be the response to either. I think let me just wrap up by saying that I love South Africa and I love Africa, and that is why moments like these are, for me, really painful, you know, because they don't reflect who we are at our core, right? I think let's just not define a nation by its worst moments, and let us not allow small and loud minorities to define our identity. I think we need to reclaim the narrative, and we are not enemies. We are family, we are Africans.
I know South Africans are very proud of their country, and they are fighting so hard to live in their country. I'm very proud of you because I see it. When I'm hosting a live and you people come up, I see you having the flag of South Africa by your names. But when I see Ghanaians, I see them with US flag. Some of them before Ghana flag. And I see some without Ghana flag at all. But for South Africans, I have never seen any of them with a different country flag. And that is how proud you are of your country. I'm proud of you too. Ghana, let's go and fix Ghana. You know, there are two sides of the story. The illegality part, the place where the South Africans are not nice, and the part where they are talking about us fixing our country. I'm interested in the part of us fixing our country. You know, everybody is choosing the part they want. For me, the part that interests me is us fixing our country. Because if our country was fixed to some extent, there are some places that Ghanaians will not even go there. And I know there are some places South Africans don't even go there. And I know what I'm saying.
we decided as management we're going to have a meeting with the leadership of these people that are doing this march on march. For one reason, just to remind them about the rights of others. Because they cannot just go and threaten foreigners, foreign nationals in the country, not knowing whether they are documented or not, number one. And number two, they don't have a responsibility as citizens to go and check whether are people documented, because they don't have skills to know whether the paper that the person is holding is legit or not. So we encourage them to monitor, observe where they get information, share that with us, and be able to tell us that we are aware that in that particular area they are undocumented people. Please go and check. So we go and check that. If it's confirmed, then we'll be able to deport them. Otherwise, if we just go on a spree like they're doing and trying to intimidate people, the sad thing is going to happen one day is that someone's going to get hurt. And because you're going to come across someone who looks like me, and you're going to assume that he's a foreign national, not knowing that he's a South African. We've got brothers and sisters in this province, in this country, that look similar to the other brothers and sisters from other foreign countries. So you cannot just by the look of the face of a person and you assume that this is a foreigner. It might not be. That is one. And secondly, what becomes even more disturbing is that their march seems to target those that mostly are from the African origin. And they are not necessarily directing their anger towards other foreign nationals that are in the country. We've got the whole world here. But when we don't see it on TV that there is this kind of march towards other nationals.